Do you want to learn how to draft offensive linemen? If so, stick around and we'll go over the process. Week 3 is the first time you can scout players. You start with 175 scouting points, unless you've purchased the upgrade for your coach, in which we'll show you how to do that later in the video. We're starting over here in left tackle, and to conserve points, it's best to just hit the first column of each one. Unless you know a certain area of the draft that you want to do, or I definitely want a very high-end guy, so I'm going to stick to the first 3 rounds. Or I'm just looking for a solid backup, so I'm going to stick to the back half of the draft. So we have gone through and hit the first column from every player, and your standards should kind of drop down a little bit as you go down, because of course the better players are going to be towards the top of the draft, generally speaking. So Donald Rivers down here is easily the best guy, at least on the screen. So we're going to start with that, B-. That's okay. I mean, we're looking at a 7th rounder. And C+, still not good enough. You need it to stay higher. Plus, we don't know what his physical attributes are. Let's go on up to the next guy, Dakota Mays. He's a B. Let's see if he'll stay a B. B-. Come on, another B-. Nope, still not good enough. But here, Dudley Burney, he's got a B+, another B+, and a B. This guy is going to be really good at the back end of the draft. And moving up, we have another B+. So we'll hit that guy, and an A-, and another A-. So we'll just hit these guys and finish them off because they all look good so far. And he dropped off too far, Max Graves. Keenan Clancy, he looks decent. And Keenan Massey, he looks very good. Everyone else here just doesn't look good enough to continue scouting. So let's move along to left guard. And we're going to do the same thing, just hitting the first column. And by being selective, it saves you points, which allows you to scout other players at other positions. So down here in the 7th round, we have a couple of guys with some Bs. They look D. Oh, and they dropped off. Don't even bother. So let's continue up. B+, B+, and B. David Friedman, he looks good. David Williamson, he cannot drop off one bit. I need to see B's across the board. And then later, when we check out his combine grade, it better be fantastic. Still B, and B's across, and it still says it's not good enough. So he must not be a physical monster, which, by the way, this red diamond, that's bad. You don't want to take him. Green diamonds are good. That's what we're aiming for. So now moving over to center, let's do it the same way again. Starting down here in the bottom, we have a B- in the 6th round. We need to see B- across the board. Nope, don't even bother. B, C+, maybe, but probably not. Let's do it anyway. Yep, see, it wasn't good enough. And then B-, why not? Give it a shot. No, he dropped off. Heck, let's do it anyway. Yep, not good enough. A- in the 5th round. Oh my goodness. B, okay, he dropped off significantly, but still, 5th rounder with a B and a B again, so he's pretty good. As a matter of fact, it shows him as a 4th round talent. Early 4th round talent in the 5th round, so he looks like he'd be a good value for you in the back end of the draft. We have a B right here in the 3rd round. I'm going to keep an eye on him, but at this point, I'm not going to put any more points into him. There again, when the combine numbers come out, if he is one of the most athletic centers in this class, then we'll put some more points into him. But at this point, we're going to skip it. And B+ and A-, let's just keep going. And B, I love that. And he dropped off. That's very interesting that it's a B right there. He must drop off pretty good later, or he's not very physically talented. But down here, Grant Corbin, and that's not very good either. And I know he's not going to be worth it. So yeah, this is, well, heck, let's just do it right now. B-, 3rd rounder, I think it's going to be red. I'll waste the points. Yep, it's red. Let's move on to the right guards. And you know the drill. I just hit them all in the first column. So DeMarcus Connor looks pretty good so far. B+. There you go. He looks pretty good. Very, very good. And then Darvin Chris, B+. B. We're in the 3rd round. Could be okay. And shows B-, looks okay. And then John Donaldson, B, B-, and B-. Looks like a good value pick on the back end of the draft. And dropping off, I don't know, B- and C+. It's just dropped off too much. Let's move on to the right tackles. And here with the first column done in the right tackles, I'm seeing a lot of B+. Let's hit those guys up. And so far looking decent. 4th rounder with a B. Let's go for it. 5th with a B-, maybe. And so far it looks like everybody looks worth continuing. So let's just hit everybody. And it looks like the right tackles for the round anyway, they look pretty good. Derek Curran right here, he dropped off a C-. That's bad. But I'm definitely liking the looks of Leo Ward over here in the 7th round. Is he probably going to be a starter for you? No, but he'll be a really good backup. And then up here with Marcus Forbes and Antonio Orchard, they look pretty good for a 3rd and 4th rounder. Even though their numbers look really similar, for some reason the CPU is really evaluating Antonio Orchard significantly higher than Marcus Forbes. Antonio Orchard is projected to be a late 1st round talent, whereas Marcus Forbes is an early 3rd. That's very interesting. Next up, we're upgrading our coach. So to upgrade your coach, you go over to the team tab, then down to my coach, then spend XP, and then right here at the top where you start off, expert scouting, buy the package, boom, it's 1,400 points, completely worth it. And now you go from 175 scouting points each week to 200 scouting points each week. We are now in off-season free agency 2. This is the first time you can see the combine grade. And as you can see over here, Keenan Massey is a 7.2, which looks very good, especially compared to his contemporaries. No one else is in the 7s, at least as far as, well, here, let's just scroll all the way through. And yeah, the only guy in the 7s. Let's open him up and check it out. Whoa, as far as left tackles, he is first across the board in everything except for 20-yard shuttle, which he is 2nd in. So he is easily the most gifted left tackle in this class, at least athletically. And then we already scouted his top skills. He was number 1 as far as that. So this guy is easily, without a doubt, probably the best offensive lineman, but definitely the best left tackle in this draft class. As a matter of fact, you drop down and look at the corner here. Talent, it says early 1st round, and I would agree with that. He's 22 years old, so he'll progress pretty quick. 21 would of course be better, but it's better than 23 or 24, which is what you normally see offensive linemen as. And another thing, you can also narrow down your search by archetype. This guy is agile, but he's the strongest guy. I mean, look at that, 41 bench press. 41 is insane. He's agile because they had to choose something. That's what he's best at, but he looks like he's probably good at everything. Which, just an FYI, for offensive linemen, and especially tackles, I would go no lower than 32 bench press. The farther in you go, the more reliant you are on agility and less on strength, so you can kind of go down a little bit from there, but 32 is kind of the benchmark on where to go. So at this point, we're going to add him to our draft board. You just hit triangle, boom, there's the little star. We're dropping down. In fact, we'll start off going in order of how they're projected to go. So next we're looking at right guard DeMarcus Connor, and he looks fantastic also. He's first in every combine report except for 40-yard dash where he's 2nd and bench press where he's 3rd. He meets that 32 threshold. So, guards, you can be more like 30, especially if they're an agile guy, which this guy is, and he's agile and the 3rd strongest, so he's looking pretty good. His numbers, A-, A-, B+. He's super athletic, probably the most athletic guard in the class, definitely the best numbers. I love this guy. The CPU also says he's an early 1st round talent. I agree. He's 22 years old. He's young. I would leave him right there, right behind Keenan Massey, because of course you want a left tackle over a right guard if you need them both. Justin Harris, he did not have good numbers. We're passing him. These guys, red diamonds, don't even bother. Bradley Hughes, probably not interested. Let's open him up. He's pretty athletic, except for the strength. Why not? Let's throw 5 points at him. Just not good enough. It dropped off even more. Even if it was a B-, it still probably wouldn't be worth it. But, he was 21 years old. It was 5 points. It's for the experiment. So dropping down here to Darvin Chris. He's pretty athletic. He's the strongest guy. He's the 3rd fastest. Everything else is kind of not so good. His vertical jump is not good at all, but 23 years old, pretty average. His numbers are not that impressive. I mean, B+ pass block is good. B power block is okay. B- lead block. I'm not too sure about this one. I'm going to put him on the board, but I don't like him a lot. Next one down, David Friedman. His skills are better than the last guy, but his athletic score is worse. He's at that bare minimum 32 reps. He's not fast at all, so if he's going to be a pulling guard, not going to do you a lot of good there. But he looks okay. He's projected to go in the late 3rd round, so we'll add him to the board, probably keep him in the order that they are in right now. And then Keenan Clancy, left tackle. He's pretty good athletically. Nothing too special. 32 bench press. It's 11th in his class. 4th fastest guy. He's 21 years old, so he could progress a little faster. B's across the board with leading off with a B+. He looks decent. In fact, I like him more than the last 2 guys. So we'll move him up when we get there. Antonio Orchard, right tackle. He's super strong. 38 bench reps. That's the third strongest. We've got some really strong right tackles in this class. For a third rounder, he's got some good numbers across the board. B+, B+, B. 21 years old. CPU says late first round talent. I don't know if it's late first, but he's pretty good. I would definitely like having him on the board. Marcus Forbes, another right tackle. He has okay strength with 33 reps. He's not very athletic outside of that, but he does have B+, B+, and B for his skills, and is 22 years old. He's definitely worth looking at in the 4th round. It does project him as a late 2nd rounder for talent, so we'll add him to the board. Timmy Sanders, once again, another right tackle. A lot of right tackles grouped together here. He's pretty speedy for a right tackle. He's below what I'm looking for, though, for that 30 bench reps. 22 years old. Okay numbers across the board. I wouldn't consider him, unless you're maybe looking to move him to guard. He might make a good pulling guard at that point, but as far as right tackle, I'm going to pass on him. And down to left tackle, Dudley Burney. He has 36 bench reps, which is 4th in the class, so he's strong. He's got average speed. He's 22 years old. B+, B+, B. Projected to go in the early 5th round. Love him. Love him at that spot. Add him to the board. All right, we have everyone sorted in the draft. Oh yeah, and to reorder your draft, you just, as you can see, hold X and scroll up and down, and it moves where they are. It's just a good organizational tool. It helps you prepare for the draft. That way, when you get in there, you don't go, what do I want? What do I want? You just go, okay, I want this guy, and then next this guy, and then next this guy, and it really helps out. And so now I'll show you one last trick before the draft. So from here, you scroll over to the League tab, then News, and then go from top stories to draft stories. Looks like right now there's only 2. Right now I'm in free agency number 2, so there should be a few more weeks before the draft, and including draft day, there might be a story. So in these draft stories, if you read something good about a player, it means they're going to have a hidden development, which ups your chance of getting Superstar or even Superstar X Factor, which of course is what we all want. Now, you most of the time don't see offensive linemen in here. I've only seen them like 2 or 3 times ever, but it's a great tip for just drafting in general. So just reading these, there's no offensive linemen, so we'll just see in the draft. So here in the draft, we're at our draft board. We are taking the first overall pick, Keenan Massey. You might necessarily not want to take him first overall, but he looks amazing. Let's take him. And 78 overall. It says we reached, but really, we were taking an offensive lineman no matter what, and it says he's 3rd in true talent. We took him at number 1. He's 22 years old. The worst part about this is he has normal development, but with good gameplay, you can potentially up him to star or superstar development, so he has potential to progress faster, and if nothing else, he's a 78. He's already starting off awesome. Unfortunately, the next guy on our board is gone, but Antonio Richard, he looks decent. We're taking him in the 1st round, but it's either that or we trade back and kind of get some other guys. So I'm not going to do that. We are going to take Antonio Richard with the 2nd first-round pick we have, 70 overall. And even at that, we took him earlier than we would. It says he's ranked 33rd in true talent. We took him at 22. So even if you take him, I don't know, mid in the 2nd round, you're still ahead of the game. 70 overall, 21 years old. Unfortunately, normal development. We're kind of striking out on this front. And now with the first pick in the 2nd round, boy, do the Dolphins have a lot of picks. We are taking, and this is a bit of a reach too, you normally wouldn't take this guy this early, but it's what we're doing. David Friedman, 69 overall. He's 36th in true talent. We took him at 33. There again, you take him where you probably would normally have, and you're ahead of the game. So now with the 18th selection in the 3rd round, we are going to take Keenan Clancy, left tackle. He's projected to go late in the 3rd round, so we're doing this about right. And 68 overall. Now that we're picking right around in the spots that we're supposed to, it says good pick. Keenan is 41st in true talent. We took him at 50. He's 21 years old, so he'll progress real good. At this point in the draft, we're probably not going to see anything other than normal development, because you normally only see hidden development in the first couple rounds. A lot of our guys came off the board. We are definitely reaching on this guy, taking him way too early, but he's a 5th rounder. I don't want to miss out on him. And there we go, 69 overall, 40th in true talent. We took him at 65. he was projected to go in the 5th round, and he probably would have been gone. This guy is going to be instantly either your best backup or a project starter. But with as late in the draft as we took him, we did great. And now with the 15th pick in the 4th round, we're almost out of guys. We're going to take, do we do it this way? God, we might miss out on him. No, I don't want to miss out on Leo Ward. He looks like the steal of the draft. Just got to do it. 68 overall, even better than you'd think. 43rd in true talent. We took him at 111. So now here in the draft recap section, we can see we started off with our number 1 pick of Keenan Massey at 78 overall. Our next pick was Antonio Orchard, who we took a little early, and he was still 70 overall. Same with Friedman and Clancy. We took them a little early, and still 69, 68. They could be starters for you right away. The next guy, Bernie, Ward, those guys, we took them right about where we'd want to, and you know what? Well, they're the same as the 2 guys before them. So, yeah, the top end wasn't super exciting, but as the draft went on, we got better and better and better as far as where we picked it to where their talent ranked. And that's going to do it for this tutorial on how to scout and draft offensive linemen. But before we go, just remember to think about what kind of players you need. If you do a lot of pulling, get more athletic guards. If you do a lot of running, get some real strong power guys across the board. Passing, of course, you want some pass protectors. Think about what you need. But on the back end of the draft, sometimes it's just best to get the best guy available and kind of mold him into what you need. Because let's face it, if you can get a 2nd round talent in the 6th round, who cares what kind of style he is? You mold him into what you need. At that point, if he's a 6th rounder, he probably wasn't going to be a starter for you anyway, or he's just that big of a bonus that you definitely want to work with it. If you like this tutorial and want to see more like it, I have other tutorials on how to scout and draft players at other positions. And we also have other content like the Madden Relocation series, the London Bulldogs. And of course we have Madden experiments too. Don't forget to give this video a big like and jump on down, hit the big red subscribe button, and turn on the notification bell. And until next time, this is Extinguisher 10 signing out. Have a great rest of your day.